What's up guys, welcome back to another Manga Sutra Manga review, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a horror mystery drama called Children by Miura Miu. Now the manga starts off with several colored panels in which we have someone being spit roasted over an open fire, as well as a young man with bloodied hands dismembering a corpse with a young woman standing behind him telling him to hurry up for the barbecue. We also see that beside them is a container filled with dismembered limbs and disembodied heads. The young man is contemplating in this moment how his life has gotten to this situation, as well as how it's not going to be the same ever again. And also how the woman standing behind him is a demon. Flashback, we have our main character Igarashi Toru, who is 18 years old, who accepts a part-time job to work as a child caretaker at a child care facility in the mountains for 6 months and 3 million yen. And I know what you're saying. 3 million yen sounds like a lot of money, and it is. And the job sounds too good to be true. And it is. Well, that does not stop Toru from taking the job. And when Toru gets to the facility, it seems eerily quiet. He doesn't seem to see any kids. But when he does see some kids, they seem kind of apprehensive and guarded at his presence. But Toru seems like a nice guy and he manages to win the kids over. And we also see that the head teacher Sakurako seems to take a liking to Toru very quickly. We see this chemistry build between Sakurako and Toru with little bits of contact and smiles and her telling him to be a good boy. Now when dinner time comes, Toru says a weird prayer that catches the kids off guard and leaves them bewildered. However, they join in the prayer with Toru and he further ingratiates himself with the kids and the head teacher Sakurako. Now, Toru is here having a bath after the dinner by himself, expecting peace and quiet. However, in comes all the kids at the facility and the head teacher, Neged, deciding to take a bath with him. Now, Toru decides to help bathe the kids, but then he goes to bed. Now, Toru is lying in bed in the middle of the night, can't seem to get his mind off of the head teacher, and he's thinking about her. However, he hears tapping at his window and he looks down and he sees a woman point, or he sees a little girl point to a bag. When he goes out to open the bag, he sees that it is filled with people that have been duct taped and they are bloody, scared, and frightened. And he sees the head teacher as well as these kids brutally cutting up, murdering, and killing these people. Now, Toru is stunned. He's not understanding what's going on and how these kids can do all of this stuff, right? But to these kids, this is normal. They're having fun. They're having fun massacring and brutally butchering these people. These people are begging for their lives, and the head teacher and the kids, they're demanding Toru to join in. However, Toru is a good person, right? Toru would never do this, and he refuses adamantly that this is monstrous, this is barbaric. He can't do it. As one of the restrained adults begins to regain consciousness, Toru offers to call an ambulance, in which one of the children begins to slash the man's leg, and then a little girl with a giant axe decapitates him, and then continues to hack at his body with an axe before stating that she's sleepy. Toru is watching these kids as they draw up this body and watch the blood flow into a bucket hanging right below it. And the head teacher, she's standing over Toru trying to talk to him. However, Toru is in shock at everything that's going on and he loses consciousness. He wakes up the next day in a bright room and he sees these two twins outside covered in blood. However, when he looks around, he sees that the kids are still hacking apart these bodies. There's blood everywhere. He still remembers the night and he's wondering, what type of facility is this? And both of the twins say happily, this is a place where they punish adults. Oh boy.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
He then proceeds to get called a weakling by the kids, and he's looking around and he's seeing these blenders, he's seeing all of these things that these children are doing with the corpses, and he's thinking to himself that he has to get out of there. But before he can really have some time to compose himself and figure out his next move, the head teacher is right behind him, and she's wondering what exactly is he doing. And she tells him that his job is to empty the corpses like the rest of the kids. However, Toru, being the nice guy that he is, saying he can't do that and that he wants to get out. This is when the head teacher slices his leg, pretty much creating a deep gash, a lot of bleeding, calling him a very delicate child. However, we see that the teacher also is kind of sorry that she has to do this, right? It is a lot on her to take care of all of these kids. She's telling Toru that she's been doing this for many, many years. She's been covering her tracks, and that this is just a lot on her. We see this softer side to the head teacher, and these kids, or at least one of the kids that is witnessing the teacher cry, is wondering why she's crying. So what we can infer from this is that the head teacher Sakurako, she's had this shield up. She has literally been this cold, methodical, cold-blooded monster. However, Toru, our handsome good guy Toru, is breaking those walls down. One of the younger kids sees the head teacher crying and assumes that Toru and the head teacher are fighting, and she proceeds to pull out a blade and is going to try to attack Toru. However, another kid stops the little girl and tells the head teacher that they don't necessarily need Toru, because Toru is, one, not willing to do his job, and two, he's breaking a lot of the rules. And so the young man says that we probably need to get rid of Toru. The rules say that he needs to be disposed of. However, the little girl proposes that they do the Copycat Game, right? So you're probably wondering, Vero, what is the Copycat Game? You know, I am just as confused as you are. And then they pull out a young woman who proceeds to regain consciousness. Now, the young boy has a spoon, and he proceeds to scoop out her eyeball, and then proceeds to give Toru the spoon to do the same to her other eyeball. This is a brutal manga that has absolutely no mercy. This is by far the most brutal manga I have ever seen. And I've seen some pretty brutal mangas, but this takes the cake. Little kids butchering people. One of the things that I like about Children by Miura Miu is the way the brutality and the gore and the bloodshed is presented in the manga. We're not looking at some cheesy slasher film. However, we're not looking at some vanilla anime or manga. We are more so shocked because the way the gore and the bloodshed is presented goes completely against what we are expecting. We don't have this crazed, psychopathic serial killer adult. We don't have this supernatural demonic force that is getting vengeance or divine retribution. However, we also don't have some sci-fi alien or creature or bestial monster murdering people off of instincts. These are kids butchering and murdering adults with precision and efficiency, with no hesitation and no remorse. And it is even more so scary because we can relate to Toru. Toru is us. He cares about the kids. He loves the kids. He sees them for what they are. And he sees this contrast as well. In the daytime, these kids are sleepy, they cry, they're scared, they have feelings just like any other kid. However, at night when they have to do their jobs, they are butchers. They have no problem handling blood. They have no problem hurting people. They have no problem doing what they're doing as a job. It's like this mental disconnect from what they're doing. And Toru is being forced to conform to this. And I think a lot of us are curious to see whether Toru actually conforms to this job that he is being pressured to do. We also see that the head teacher has a thing for Toru, and this is between the physical contact that she has with him, being naked around him, some of the comments that she makes towards him, and her leniency seemingly towards Toru. One of the other kids pointed out that they don't really need Toru there. He's not doing his job, and therefore he should be disposed of. However, the teacher is a little bit hesitant to do that. She's even remorseful and sorry to cut his leg. She is opening up and crying in front of him when we see that some of these kids have never even seen her cry in the first place. It seems that Toru is seeing the softer side of her, or he's bringing out the softer side of her. However, one would have to ask the question, why? Why is she giving Toru such leniency? Why is she showing such a softer side to Toru? He has just arrived there. This is literally less than 2 days into his job, and she is showing a lot of weakness to Toru, you know? Everybody's telling Toru that he's weak, but the reality is there's a disconnect. There's a big disconnect between everybody there and what they're doing, and then them expecting Toru to just really hop on board with it, right? I'd say that this reminds me of Neverland, Wonderland, and Children of the Corn, in the sense that adults can't be trusted, right? That is one of the rules at this childcare facility. And then we have Toru, who is basically 18, who is walking the tightrope between adulthood and adolescence. To the head teacher, he is a child, but to us, 18 is literally on the cusp of adulthood. So he's a foreigner in both worlds. He's not yet fully responsible for himself. However, to the kids, he's too old to really be trusted or to be considered one of them. Now, if you like Children of the Corn and you like the anime Neverland, Wonderland, this is for you. I think the brutality that we see in this manga is amazing. However, there's also a lot of mysteries. Where do the people come from? Who put the head teacher up to this? Who is above the head teacher? Why are these rules in place? Why did Toru's family, because at the beginning of the manga, he said one of his family members put him in for this job. Who? Why? There's a lot of mysteries. I think that this is a good manga. The artwork for the manga is very detailed, especially when it comes to the brutal scenes, when it comes to the gore and the brutality and some of the fear on some of the characters' faces, some of their shocked expressions. You see a lot of that. You see the light in Toru's eyes. You see this weird, almost eerie type of eagerness in the head teacher's eyes, right? She has these like weird anime doll eyes that literally disguise the demonic actions that she partakes in and that she enforces, right? But her eyes wouldn't betray that. Not unless they get that little weird blank expression that most of the anime and manga characters have, right? Toru has a light inside of him, and I don't want to see it extinguished. However, I finished the manga, and I can tell you that this manga has a lot of twists and turns. And we're not talking about, oh, well, this person's this and this person's that. No, we're talking about blind sides and twists and turns the way you would never even see it coming. Characters that you would have never expected, characters that we've never even heard of until towards the end of the manga. It is good. All right, it is good. I would recommend that you read it. And this is Vera Malo. If you want to keep this continued, or if you want to keep this series going, please drop a like, please comment. If you've read the manga, tell me what is your favorite part about the manga. Don't try to spoil it for anybody, but do tell me your favorite part about the manga. And what are some other mangas that you would have me do a review on? If you want to show some extra support, become a member. It's only 99 cents a month. I will shout you out at the end of these videos. I'm going to be working on doing that going forward. I'll see you guys. Bye.